Shabba, it's your third year with Nedbank. It's a fruitful partnership. Obviously, we've had a morning discussing, financial literacy and things like that. Just off the top of it, what have you taken from this partnership together with Nedbank, um, personally? And do you think that it's ringing in the ears of some current players now, which is obviously the goal?
Yeah, I'm just honored to have had this great partnership with Nedbank. It's been 3 years now. Working with Nedbank on this campaign, and I'm just happy that it does not only focus on the field on the Nedbank Cup tournament, but it also focuses on the most important topic, financial literacy. And financial literacy, it speaks to us, it speaks to everyone. Most importantly, our industry, which is football, and it also gives us an opportunity, to learn, to self-correct as well, and to get the best advice, from credible people, from a big financial institution.
Secondly, I'm guessing now, but yourself and Teko, being popular, influential figures, one would say that you're probably earning more money post career than you were when you're playing days because of your image, and how big you became using football. Um, so, what type of lessons is that for other players as well? Because if you use your football career to adequately grow your brand, it will look after you for the rest of your life. I mean, everybody will know Siphiwe Tshabalala until the day you gone. You know what I mean? So how important is it just for them to understand that?
It's about loving what you do, um, and also realizing that football, it's not only used for recreational purposes. Football is a career. You can make a great career in football, and it requires discipline, it requires commitment, and dedication as well. And it also gives an opportunity to build a brand. That's the most important thing. You know, um, Build a brand through football, and think long term, um, short term, mid term, but most importantly, long term. Build a solid brand, and that you will leverage from post your playing careers. Everyone wants to associate themselves with a good brand, a clean brand as well. So if you work hard on the field, you play well, you know, you you attract good things and bad things. But it's an opportunity for you to, cash in on that. We all know that our career is short-lived. You won't earn those numbers forever. But if you build this brand, nurture this brand, respect this brand, value this brand, take care of this brand, it will take care of you for years to come. I can't remember when last Lucas Ratebe played football professionally, but he's still good, he's still relevant. Everyone wants to work with him. Dr. Kumalos, you've got Teko as well. Those are perfect examples. And I'm sure they are also open to advice the youngsters. It's a good advice that I would advise youngsters to go for it. It's a free advice. It's an advice that comes from an honesty place, from people that walked, the journey. So also, having endorsements, doing brand partnerships, it's a career, and it can be a long career that will also benefit you financially.
Don't say it like you don't deserve it. When you said cash in, it's almost like you're saying you don't deserve this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But another thing is, you said something important about Lucas that is relevant even post 20 years of his career and things like that. I would imagine that when you did your first interview, let's say when you got called up to Bafana and where you had Free State Stars, you weren't this guy now that I could, confidently speak to. And how important is the relationship with the media, one, and two, how important is to work on, being this confident and being able to give value to your
Yeah.
audiences.
It goes back to investing in oneself, in a brand, and be teachable. Also help improve yourself. As a beginner, you will be media shy. You'll be afraid to do interviews. We've all been there, but now there's big opportunities for players to do short courses to that will also help them empower themselves to be comfortable in speaking. It's about also confidence. I remember at some point when I was at Chiefs, I went for a media interview. You'd sit one-on-one and be interviewed. They record it and then they play it for you.
So you train
and then you see where you went wrong, where you need to improve, and you grow from that. And there's no shame in learning. Obviously, when you do something that you've never done it before, you're bound to make mistakes. It's about what you do after. So it's important to learn. It's important to do thorough research, and also do those small courses at the start. They're very insightful. They're very helpful as well.
Just on that, is it shyness or does some players just not want to speak to media? Like, you know what I mean? Is it just shyness?
It's also that being shy in front of camera. But also maybe some they don't feel comfortable.
But they're scared to say the wrong thing.
Some they've got other reasons, like maybe they're getting a lot of stick, and they don't know how to respond.
Okay.
And some they are not, taught or mentored as to how to conduct themselves when doing interviews. But you will not get it right if you don't try, if you don't do it often. So the more you do it, the better you learn, the more you improve. So my advice to players is do those interviews, make mistakes, learn from them, and also try it at home. Interview yourself. Just look at yourself in the mirror.
With your family.
Flip the camera and speak. Record it, go again, check, and it'll help you. One day you'll thank yourself. But there's no way that you cannot do interviews, media interviews. Honestly speaking, football goes hand in hand with education, whether we like it or not. They are most important partnerships, so they go hand in hand. You sign that contract, you must read, you must understand. You also get an opportunity to be invited and speak at events. So if you don't do interviews, if you're not comfortable, then you stand to lose out on those great opportunities.
MC Shabba.
MC, the moderator.
You're speaking about youngsters now. We were at the village the other day where Mduduzi Tshabalala said he's not the same like Mofokeng. He's not performing like Mofokeng because of the environment and the situation that they're in. What type of advice, if you were face to face with like Mofokeng or let's say Obrigado, and they're frustrated that they're not shining like they were in the academy days. I remember there was a guy that was telling me Sabelo Radebe was a superstar in Chiefs Academy and things are just not. What would you say to them that maybe just getting a little bit frustrated?
Conversation is key, mostly with young players. So I'll just make examples. Mofokeng is playing well. and he's a regular. He's getting game time, which is good for him, which is good for football. And he looks like, he's in an environment where he's been guided, where he's been mentored, and also being protected. And now he's at the level where he can be thrown in a deep end. And you can only improve when you play. That's where you improve. You cannot improve on the bench. You can also not improve when you're a regular. And then with Chiefs, it's a bit different now because of the situation. I said it before that there's good players at Chiefs.
Yeah.
Chiefs doesn't have bad players.
Yeah.
The challenge is Chiefs doesn't have a team. There's no structure currently. There's no identity. It looks like it's more reliant on individual brilliance than a team structure, and it becomes a problem for the youngsters when they're being promoted to the first team, because now they're coming in an environment where team is not doing well, a team is not winning, and now when they're being introduced as well, they get lost because there's no a structure, there's no identity
And negativity.
So they don't even know what patterns of play, what style of play. So when they play, they just play based on their talent as well. So they rely more on their talent than on the structure of the team. And they're coming into a tough environment where there's pressure, when there's a lot of criticism. So that's where mentorship is required. That's where a lot of conversations are needed, to prepare them, to keep them grounded, and also to let them know that they are good players. They are good players and they're capable of being, great players. And this is just a phase, and you learn more in trying times than in success. But it's just preparations for them to become better players, not only better players, but also better human beings in terms of building character.
Would you say your career would have been the same if you went straight from academy into Chiefs' first team? And why did you go seek out that Free State Stars and whatever was in between?
I don't know if my career would have been great had I stayed at Chiefs Development and made it to the first team. But I honestly believe that I made a great decision.
Why did you leave?
By leaving. So I played under 15s, under 17s, and then I only trained with the under 19s for about 2 weeks, but I was doing well. And the schedule was clashing with school schedule as well. So I'd always get into trouble the next day at school. And
You didn't do your homework.
yeah, remember after school we had the study period. So I was always missing the study period.
Okay.
So I had to make that decision to sacrifice, Chiefs and stay at school and play, school football and Kasi football as well. And another best decision I took was packing my bags and going to Free State. It was first time in my life that I had to leave home and stay in a different province.
How old are you?
It was in 2004. How old I was in 2004? 19? I think 19.
Yeah.
19, yeah. So it was a different environment with new people, new teammates, new place. And it turned out well for me. And also thank myself for being disciplined, because I stayed 3 years in Free State, and the entire 3 years I only stayed with the clubhouse. I never moved out.
But I mean, Free State is different from your Gauteng, so did it humble you a little bit?
Yeah, it's a bit laid back. It's like, going to stay in a rural place, and also that requires sacrifice. You don't get to see your friends now. You don't get to go to the places that you used to. But the purpose was bigger than chilling with friends and going to nice places.
But I mean, like, for example, the Chiefs, even if you were under 15 wearing that jersey, you're still a glamour boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I talk about becoming humble. So that obviously elevated you, that experience. I want more, I want more. I want to get back to where I was. And secondly, do you think then maybe some of the youngsters, like let's say some Kelos Wane, this prime example, Sabelo Radebe, should go out on loan, you know, to a Baroka.
It can work. It can work for them. But you know, for quite some time, you know, players, they tend to struggle when they leave Chiefs because of the environment. It's a good environment. You know, the facilities, it's world class. Professionalism is at the best.
Yeah.
You know? We can match the Europe standard.
Yeah.
You know, when you go there, there's security at the gate. You go in, you have your own, you know, parking spot. You've got your own locker room, gym, and then there's also your clothes. When you get your basket, it's got everything. It's up to you if you want to train with sweatpants or shorts, tights. So you know that's the best environment.
Instead of washing your own training clothes after.
When you're done, you leave it there.
Yeah.
You go have a decent meal, and then you go home. You know, but then when you leave that environment, you go to other teams with respect. Now you start changing in the car. Now you realize the little things that you took for granted.
In the parking lot.
Change in the parking lot, in the car. You bring your own socks. There's no showers. There's no lunch. You know, you end up not, you know, caring now on the most important things. You start to become, you know, a bit complacent. You arrive late because so and so is doing it. It looks like it's normal, you know, in this environment. But maybe it might be a bit different with players that coming from the development. Listen, when you're being loaned out, it's not a rejection.
It does
not mean that you're not good enough. It simply means that go and get an opportunity somewhere else. You know, learn as best as much as you can. Come back and help us. So that's the mentality that players need to have, and it has worked on other players. You look at Mabasa, Tsakofat, he was not doing that well at Pirates. He was not a bad player, and he has shown that he's a good player. He went to Swallows. He started scoring goals, and then they brought him back. You know, he's sitting on 13 goals. You know, so there's nothing wrong being loaned out. Percy Tau as well. At some point, he left Sundowns. He was loaned out. He came back a different beast. Your Tembazwanis, one of the best players now. He went to Aces to play there. So if he had a weak mentality, you know, he would have not made it back. You know, he would have struggled and you would have lost him at Aces.
Yeah. I mean, you had periods of struggles at Chiefs as well, personally, like in the team as well. How did you guys get out of it? Where morale was low. It could be like a slippery slope, you know what I mean?
It's yours.
No, it's in my.
We got the same one.
No problem.
That grey jacket, yeah.
Can I take?
Yeah.
You had periods of struggles. How did you get out of it?
Yeah. It's
Let's say as a team.
yeah.
As a team.
It's a period that needs, you know, unity.
Yeah.
Also, it's a character building period.
Yeah.
That's where you learn more about life. That's where you learn more, you know, about the career that you're in. That's where you learn to appreciate your colleague more. That he's more than a colleague, you know, his family. So it's a situation that should bring you together. You should bring you closely and create that camaraderie. as well. And you must tell yourself that it's a temporary situation. Don't get used to it. Be in it, but don't get used to it. And now it's been going some time. They must fight. They must come up with solutions. At the end of the day, it's Chiefs. And who's Chiefs?
Yeah.
Chiefs is the current squad. That's Chiefs. There's no other Chiefs. So they must find solutions. Until they get it, they must not give up.
It's easy to be on the other side as well as a fan and as a media, but I'm asking you, what is it like? How does it feel to be in a bad period as Chiefs? The pressure, the criticism, you go outside and hey, you a cow. What is it like? Can you get depressed? How does it feel to be on that side?
It's very tough. It's very tough. It's depressing, and it can also be very lonely. If you're not strong mentally, you start second guessing yourself.
Like
whether
your talent,
you're good enough, whether you're worthy. So it's a character building period. It's a period that teaches you to work hard. A period that teaches you that not everyone is going to be in your corner, which I see it as a good thing. You'll be criticized a lot, and it's still a good thing as well. That helps you grow as a person. That helps you to not rest on your laurels, and it also helps you to keep working hard. That's criticism. So you have to strive on criticism and never give up. Work hard and show up. Don't hide yourself. Show up. If you make a mess, take responsibility. Fix it. No one will fix it for you. So we've been there. You lose games, you get the stick. Next day, wake up, you show up again. The next day you wake up, you show up again, until things get right.
And lastly, when you guys had success, there was still kind of the same management and whatever. And a lot of people are saying, oh no, it's the management's fault, blah, 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 blah. But you guys had success there with that management. It's not to say the technical team or whatever. So what makes it different now? As the others just maybe gotten better? Like, the gaps between the smaller teams, the mid-table teams, and then obviously Sundowns going a step higher? Maybe not Chiefs regressing, but the others getting way better.
I think the situation it just needs an overview, a helicopter view holistically. The team as well. It'll always go back to the team, to the leadership of the team. Rightfully so. When things are not going well, you want answers from those that are above. Right? But everyone needs to take responsibility. And a team of Chiefs caliber, it's an institution, and an institution that values its stakeholders, right, including the fans. I think the fans are the most important stakeholders in this institution, and they value their input. The team would have their own wish list in terms of player acquisition. The coach will have his own wish list, and the fans, right? And there are those players that were on the wish list of the fans. I don't know if they were also on the team, but the fans, they drove that.
Are you talking about holistically or like right now?
Holistically, even right now. I'll just not mention names. And those players were eventually signed by the teams. So it shows you that it's a team that listens. It's a team that takes feedbacks from the fans. It's a team that takes criticism as well, and it's a team that acts as well. As things are now, I know they are planning. I know that they'll soon act. And this is a process, it's something that cannot happen overnight. And I just hope that, there's a solution and sooner.
But then would you blame when the fans call for a signing and the signing doesn't pitch? It doesn't.
That's why I'm saying that we need to take responsibility, all of us. A blame game will not help us. But at the end, the biggest blame will go to management. It's like that.
Yeah.
It's that's how things are. But what I'm saying is that Chiefs, they listen to their stakeholders. They value their input, right? And they do their best to ensure that they are part of the project going forward. And not all the time it's going to work out well. There'll be times that things will go south. But I just hope that the glory days are coming back soon. It's been very hard.
It's really the last one. How is it really important to have people in the club that knows the history and values of the Chiefs? Where you had success with foreign coaches, you didn't have success with local coaches. Is it really important?
It's very important, very, very important to know about the culture. I think the induction process is very key. To know that you are coming to an environment of champions. You are coming to an environment where past generations that donned the jersey, they really gave justice to the brand. They must walk you through to the trophy cabinet to see it, so that you can dream it and also want to contribute to the success of the club. And that will help players not to be complacent and not to be comfortable. They must also want to make more and to also get more. Remember, the success also comes with financial rewards. So it's important that they worry of that, but they contribute, and they must contribute to the success of the club. And not anyone can do that, including the fans, including the management. This is the responsibility for the players. Like I said, everyone has a role to play. The fans, they must rally behind the team. They must come to the stadium. They must support the players. The management must make sure the players are okay. They are good. Everything is fine. They're playing in the best stadiums. Players must deliver. Simple.
Thank you very much.